In this lesson, you'll learn how to create your first job in the GDS storefront estimating system. First, double-click on the GDS icon on your desktop. This will load the GDS system, which will first bring you to the vendor selections window. In this window, you can simply select a vendor, click Open, and the main GDS screen will appear. Here you'll click on the File Cabinet tool, which is the Select Job tool. This will open a window that shows you the estimate job names. Here we can create a new job by clicking the Add New button, and we'll just call it New J. Then you can enter in a job name. This job code can be a 4-character code. The name can be anything, any name you like. Click OK or hit the Enter key, and this will open the Estimate Options window. Here you can click the New button to start creating a new elevation. This will now open the Framing System Selections window. There are several framing systems for a given vendor, so what you need to do is pick the system you need for your particular job or your estimate. You can double-click on a system or select one and click the Select button, either way. This will open the Basic Framing Structure window where it has a quantity. In most cases there will be one, but if there's several of the same type of elevation, you would change that quantity to a relevant number. In this case, let's do a 5-panel elevation that is 15 feet wide, and here we use the apostrophe as a foot mark, and we can also put in inches. So let's say that it's 10 feet tall, which is 120 inches. After it draws the basic structure, we click Continue. This will bring us to the Elevation tab screen, we call it. And let's go ahead and put a left hinge single door in panel 3. Simply click that option button, click on the panel you'd like to place the door in, and the default door size is placed in there. Click the Next button if you'd like to add additional doors, or go ahead and go up to the, let's say, the horizontal tab at the top of the form. That way you'll skip right to that section of the tab form. If we want to put it horizontal in all panels, we click the All Panels tab. Let's say it goes in at 34 inches. We use the Tab key on the keyboard to accept that entry, and then we click Next to put in another row of horizontals. Again, we'll click All Panels. This time let's put it at door head height at 84 inches. We hit Tab. It shows us that row of horizontals. And now let's say we're done with this elevation. We can actually go to the Exclude tab. Since this program uses sequential drawing, as you go from left to right, it shows each object or each kind of type of material that you're adding to your elevation. So if you click the last tab, then it's going to show everything before it. That's the best way to preview your elevation before you exit this screen. Here we'll click the Done button, and this will take us to the glass screen. In this case, it defaults to 1/4 inch clear annealed glass by row, so we can go ahead and start clicking on rows of glass. And then let's say the bottom row needs to be tempered. We'll click on the Tempered button, click on the bottom row. Door lights always need to be set by light, so we click this option button to the right here, then we click on the actual door light, and you'll notice it puts a T there for tempered. Let's say that we want our side lights to be tempered. We can just click on those lights now, and maybe the transom light to be tempered. The same thing goes for changing the type of glass. We can just click a different description of glass in this list, and then click on the lights or the rows of glass to change the glass. Now we can click Done that we've assigned all of our glass. This brings us to the Estimate Options window again, where we can now process or add new elevations, edit that same elevation that we just entered, or even close and not process it yet. In this case, we'll go ahead and process the elevation. The first thing that should come up is a Estimate Processing Options window where there's several choices here, And the first choice is the process all do not stop. That means you want to accept all the default parts in the framing system and use those. We'll go ahead and click that option. It's going to process and gather the information. This is where it actually optimizes stock lengths, optimizes material. The first thing it'll actually stop on is the final parts editor. In this case, it's going to show us a complete list of parts for the job. So if we did enter more elevations, it would show us a total requirement for parts for this job. We can print this here. We can also add new parts if there's additional parts that are required. We can delete parts that we don't want to appear on the report. And then you can click the total button to retotal everything after you've made changes. After doing all this, we click OK. Now it's going to optimize all the glass for this job. And again, if there's additional elevations, it's going to take a total job optimization here. We can again edit any of these prices, descriptions, or part numbers or quantities. We can print this. We can delete something we don't want. And we can also add new records to this. There's also a total button. And there's also a change prices button, which the parts report had a similar button. In this case, the change prices button will let us type in a glass part number like GLA01. The A is for annealed. If we want to change the price to say $1.25, we can type that in. If we want to change the price of the tempered glass, we can type that in and make it say $1.30. When we click OK, the new prices automatically get totaled, and it shows our new price glass total at the bottom of this report. We can now click OK to continue. This will take us to the final summary for the job, where it breaks down all the core components of the job, the glass, the material, and labor if we chose to calculate it. We recommend that you learn the system before getting into the labor. There's a good labor example in the help file that you'd probably want to look at before getting into the labor of the program. Here you can print the cut list, which is the actual cuts per stock length per part for this job after it's been optimized. You can also print this report, and you can click Done to close the final summary. Now we can actually go and print quarter scale drawings of this job. If we click on the little printer icon on the toolbar and then select the elevation, it'll show us this elevation on the window, and we can print this. After printing it, we can close this, and we're back to our main estimating window. In short, that's a very quick example of what you can do with the estimating program. There's also a markup report that you can click on. That's the little dollar and change tool on the toolbar. Here you can add lots of notes for the job, the contractor, the architect, the contact name for the job, and address information, the estimator's name. There's also lots of job costs you can add. You can have other materials, outside costs, markup, tax, labor markup. All those things can be put here and printed out into a markup report form. After doing this, you can either print or click Done. There's also some job notes you can enter in at this point. These notes are specific to the job and are notes that you would probably want to communicate to the contractor or the architect. Click Done, and that will close this window and take you back to the main estimating screen.